Hi guys, welcome back to another video with Pratham Test Prep. This is your host Sanjeet Bhatia again with a new video on your legal affairs for your CLAT 2022 and AILET 2022. So as we know that we are approaching the exam, so there are a lot of topics that are very important for us right now to know. So I've made a list of those, some of the topics that are very important according to your legal perspective. Hi Anshita, hi Ayushi. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you guys are doing great. So before we move ahead, a basic request that I do to all of you to hit on the like, share, and subscribe button so that all the updates are there with you, what is coming on the channel, and you get to know the recent updates about all the law entrances in the country right now. Okay, so Samriddhi, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I hope you guys are doing great. Okay, so if we go ahead on the first thing, that is that please subscribe to our Telegram channel. It is under the name of CLAT@Pratham. You can get all the free updates. We have discussed about it a lot of times, so do make sure that you are subscribed to our channel also. And also, coming to a personalized mentorship or counseling, you can definitely give us a call on 5 times 9 75392. That is definitely a number that you can call on. Now, coming to the first news for the day, that there is no frustration of contract due to the mere commercial hardships caused by pandemic, right? So that's what the Kerala High Court has said, because there was a commercial hardship that happened to a lot of people during the time of pandemic. So it is said that the Kerala High Court has ruled that the occurrence of a commercial difficulty or hardship in a contract is not to back off or excuse to back out from a contractual obligation. ठीक है, अगर आपने कोई कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बनाया, पैंडेमिक आ गया, आपके पास बिजनेस में पैसे नहीं थे, आप नहीं कर पाए कॉन्ट्रैक्चुअल ऑब्लिगेशन पूरा, तो ये पैंडेमिक आ गया, ये आपके पास बहाना नहीं हो सकता टू बैक आउट एनी ऑफ दीज contractual obligations. ठीक है, there was a division bench of Justice Anil K. Narendran and PG Ajit Kumar who dismissed the petition and also said that merely because the pandemic had made the performance of the contract inconvenient, it was not a good reason for a party to retract from their obligations. Okay, so the doctrine of frustration as per section 56 of the Contract Act will not apply merely because of commercial hardships. ठीक है, so it's a very easy case कि बोला गया पैंडेमिक ने डिफिकल्ट कर दिया, बट ये कोई भी एक अच्छा बहाना नहीं है for the frustration of contract. That is simple as that. Now what has court said exactly? That frustration of contract happens when the execution of contract is wholly impossible. So अगर आप में से किसी ने भी contract law पढ़ा है तो आपको पता होगा impossibility of performance of contract is termed to be an excuse and it also frustrates the contract कि impossible हो गया. सोचो कि आपने एक गाड़ी बाय करने के लिए किसी के साथ डील करी, ठीक है, और जैसे ही आप खरीदने वाले थे उसके बाद वो गाड़ी का एक्सीडेंट हो जाता है and it is total, like it is total loss. So that is impossible. Now you can't buy that car because it is a hardship that is there and it is a total loss that is there. So now you need to see that there is a very important thing, that frustration of contract happens when the execution of contract is wholly impossible. The severing events followed by the pandemic will not be execution of contract, the performance of contract more onerous and difficult, onerous of commercial difficulty, inconvenience, or hardships agreed to in wriggle out of obligations which the parties have accepted with the open eyes. Okay, so that is something which is very, very important. Now you can see that frustration of contract can only happen when there is an impossibility or something of that sort, but it cannot happen like this. Okay, coming to the next part, that is that there is a right to terminate the of or on the ground of rape. That is what Uttarakhand High Court has said, which is allowed to terminate a 28-week-old fetus. So you can see that's a big thing that you can see here, but that definitely we have discussed a lot of times the Termination of Pregnancy Act. So you also can refer to those videos where we have discussed the Termination of Pregnancy Act. Hi Triguna, I hope now the voice will be better. So now the board said that there is a right to terminate pregnancy on the grounds of rape. A rape victim has the right to make a choice to carry. She has also not to carry pregnancy subject to the conditions as enumerated under the provisions of the Act, that is the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act. Right. So we have discussed this act in detail. So if you haven't seen our previous videos, please go and watch the videos regarding the same. You will find that we have discussed a lot about Termination of Pregnancy Act. Okay. Now coming to the next news for the day, that is the changes proposed by JNK delimitation panel. Okay. So there is a delimitation panel which has given on changes for the electoral map of Jammu and Kashmir by carving out new constituencies. ठीक है, उन्होंने नई constituency निकाली है उसके अंदर, and they have also redraw several of the existing constituencies too. Okay, the draft of the delimitation working paper has been rejected by the National Conference. It was second set of proposal proposed by the commissions and was shared by the 5 associate members, that is JNK Lok Sabha MPs. Now will send a direct detailed response to the commission soon. Now commission has asked the view of the associate members and will later put the report in the public domain. So we will be seeing the report very soon, but definitely there has been a delimitation proposed for the electorals and different constituency in Jammu and Kashmir. So you can see that after the removal of the very important section from the constitution, there are a lot of changes that are coming up in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Now coming to the next news for the day, that what is a motion of thanks, that is also a very, very important news. So on 2nd of February, the Congress leader, which is Mr. Rahul Gandhi, will be the first speaker in Lok Sabha to discuss the motion of thanks to the president, addressed to start the parliament's ongoing budget session. And also it was moved in the lower house by BJP's Harish Dwivedi, and motion will be moved in the Rajya Sabha by BJP's Geeta alias Chandraprabha. Okay, so now this was president's address to joint session. Okay, when president gives a address to the joint session, there is no business that is being discussed at that point of time. And also Dr. Ramnath Kovind has listed achievements of the government in his address to the joint sitting of both the houses, and he listed the steps to fight the COVID pandemic and also steps to aid farmers and women in the country. Okay, so that is what is being said. Now what is the president's address to the joint session? It is covered under Article 87 of the Constitution of India, that provides for special address by the president to the joint session in the parliament. And also the president of India is mandated to address both the houses of the parliament together at the commencement of the first session after each general election of the House of People, as well as at the commencement of first session every year. Okay, so the president also inform parliament of the causes of its summons. Such address by the president is termed as special address, and it is an annual feature. And also no other business is transacted prior to president's address. ठीक है जी, तो उससे पहले कोई भी बिजनेस नहीं किया जाता, कोई भी मतलब काम की जो भी बात होनी है वो प्रेसिडेंट के एड्रेस के बाद ही होती है, राइट? सो दैट्स व्हाट इज मोशन ऑफ थैंक्स, दैट यू कैन सी इट्स अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, गुड फॉर योर नॉलेज. You should definitely know how it functions and what is the president's address to the joint session before it all starts, and once the new general elections of the House of the People has been conducted. Okay, now coming to the next part is America's Competes Act of 2022. So America has recently legislated America Competes Act of 2022. Now the meaning of competes here is very simple, that is creating opportunity for manufacturing preeminence in technology and economy strength act. So as you know that during the pandemic, US got into a lot of places where they were short on supply chains for technology, food, sanitizers, masks, everything. So there was a lot of backlash that US has to go through because of this supply chain error that was caused, because most of their supply chains were based out in China, and China tend to shut off due to the COVID pandemic, and there were a lot of hassling newses that we were hearing from all around the globe during that time. So after that, America has decided to get back to their manufacturing plans and also get into the essential service manufacturing in America. As you know that labor and laws are very strict and stringent in America, so definitely it is very difficult to produce and also very expensive. So that's why they choose different manufacturing and production plants all across the world. But now they tend to, after facing such a pandemic, they have started keeping those things to themselves. Now they have also made the following fund allocations. They have given 52 million to encourage semiconductor production. Okay, so if you are reading about semiconductors, so the biggest country to go for semiconductor production is Taiwan, and it is the most technologically advanced country in its semiconductor formation. So definitely that is one thing that is required, and your semiconductors are required to run your cars, mobile phones, your electric transformers, even a jet plane, which is like a fighter jet, can also have all of these parts that are required. So all of these require semiconductors in them to be produced. So definitely US government has aimed towards creating these semiconductors also. Now there was a 45 million USD that was given to grants and loans to improve manufacturing and supply chains resiliences. That is also very important. Also to address the climate change, social and economic inequality and immigration purposes. So they have also given funds to them. Now they have also created new green card for entrepreneurs who also offer exemption for STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics experts. Now they have also created a new W classifications, that are the non-immigrant entrepreneurs, right? So that is also what they have done in this America Competes Act of 2022. So very important news for all of you to keep in mind. For the manufacturing abilities are being increased by the US in the recent times to take care of the changing environment around the world because of the pandemic. Okay, now there is a Supreme Court judgment on the inheritance for the daughters. We have discussed this earlier. Also, I have discussed this case a lot of times during the retrospective and prospective application of laws. So you can see that there was a significant verdict that was given by the Supreme Court that daughters will be entitled to the inheritance of the properties of their father even after marriage. Now the apex court has given this: daughters of a male Hindu dying intestate will be entitled to inherit the self-acquired and other properties obtained in partition by the father. So that is also something that is being said. Daughter will also get preference over other collateral members in the family. So that is also something that is being said कि किसी और रिश्तेदार से ज़्यादा daughters को दिया जाएगा preference. And also if a property of a male Hindu dying intestate without a will is self-acquired property or has been obtained in partition of a co-partnery or a family property, it would devolve by inheritance and not by survivorship. The daughters will be entitled to inherit such property. So that is a great step. Now, right of a widow or a daughter to inherit self-acquired property or a share received in partition of a co-partnery property of a Hindu male dying intestate, matlab kisi ke father, right, is recognized under old customary Hindu laws as well as several judicial pronouncements that we have seen so far. So definitely that means that any man who's dying in inheritance without a will, then definitely dying intestate means without a will. If any man is dying like that, then definitely the daughter will also have the right in the property of that father itself. Now, this judgment came on a petition that was filed against the Madras High Court verdict, which dealt with the property rights of Hindu women and widows in accordance with the Hindu Succession Act. Now, courts were dealing with the legal issue related to the rights of the daughters to inherit self-acquired property of her father in absence of any other legal hire, right? So that is also very, very important. Now, so if there are a lot of people who are coming from nuclear families in the country and they only have single daughters, or Also, they have single sons. So that is why there is a lot of confusion that is being called upon the survivorship and the inheritance in the Hindu Succession Act. That's why there is a clarity that is being drawn here. So that is something which is really great for the women in our country, as it gives them an equal right towards the inheritance of the property of their fathers. Right. So that's all, I guess, for today. I hope you were able to understand all these newses, very important newses for the week. We have discussed all of them. So do make sure that you are keeping an eye on these newses and also reading very regularly, keeping your practice on. So do take care of yourself. Hope you are all doing great. Please keep your mask and hand sanitizer intact, and please maintain social distancing and stay safe. Keep yourself preparing, and all the best for your examination, and have a nice day ahead.